Plato was more than just a philosopher. He was a visionary whose ideas shaped the course of Western thought. Born in ancient Athens, he sought to understand justice, knowledge, and the nature of reality. His influence endures through his writings, which continue to challenge and inspire thinkers to this day. Plato was born around 427 BCE in Athens, Greece, during a time of political turmoil. His real name was Aristocles, but he earned the nickname Plato, which means broad, possibly referring to his physical build or the breadth of his intellect. He came from an aristocratic family, with ancestors who were involved in Athenian politics, making him well-connected in society. Despite his noble background, Plato's early life was marked by the instability of Athens. The Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta had weakened the city, and democracy was in crisis. This political uncertainty would later shape Plato's deep distrust of democracy and his search for a better system of governance. Socrates, Plato's greatest influence. As a young man, Plato was deeply influenced by Socrates, the great Athenian philosopher known for his questioning method and pursuit of truth. Socrates did not write down his teachings, but his method of engaging people in dialogue and exposing contradictions fascinated Plato. The two spent years in philosophical discussions, with Socrates challenging conventional wisdom and urging people to examine their own beliefs. However, Athens did not appreciate Socrates' disruptive influence. In 399 BCE, Socrates was put on trial for corrupting the youth and impiety. He was sentenced to death, an event that left a deep scar on Plato. Disillusioned by the injustice of democracy, Plato abandoned any hope of participating in politics and instead turned to philosophy as a means to find truth and justice. After Socrates' death, Plato left Athens and traveled across the Mediterranean, seeking wisdom. He visited Egypt, where he studied mathematics and the mysteries of the universe. He is also believed to have traveled to Italy, where he encountered the Pythagoreans, a group of thinkers who believed that numbers and mathematical order governed reality. These experiences shaped his philosophical ideas, particularly his belief in a higher, abstract world of forms beyond the material world. Around 387 BCE, Plato returned to Athens and founded the Academy, one of the first known institutions of higher learning. The Academy became a hub for philosophical discussions, attracting students from across the Greek world. Here, Plato taught subjects ranging from ethics to metaphysics, emphasizing reason, logic, and the search for ultimate truth. The Academy would last for nearly 900 years, influencing generations of thinkers. Key figures around Plato. Plato's life was intertwined with some of the most brilliant minds in history. His relationship with Socrates, Aristotle, and other philosophers shaped the development of Western thought. Socrates, the mentor. Socrates was not just a teacher to Plato, he was a philosophical hero. Plato immortalized him in his dialogues, making him the main character in works such as The Apology, The Republic, and Phaedo. Through these writings, we understand Socrates' teachings and his commitment to questioning everything. While Socrates left no writings, Plato ensured his legacy endured. Aristotle, the student who became a master among the many students of the Academy, Aristotle stands out as the most famous. Aristotle studied under Plato for nearly 20 years, absorbing his teachings, but eventually developing his own ideas. While Plato believed in an ideal world of forms, Aristotle focused on empirical observation and concrete reality. Their philosophical differences led to two distinct schools of thought, both of which would shape philosophy, science, and politics for centuries. The Academy and Plato's circle. Apart from Socrates and Aristotle, Plato surrounded himself with brilliant thinkers. His Academy attracted intellectuals such as Speusippus, Plato's nephew and successor, Xenocrates, and Eudoxus of Cnidus, who contributed to mathematics and astronomy. The Academy became the intellectual heart of Athens, producing ideas that would later influence everything from politics to physics. Plato's major works and contributions. Plato's writings were extensive, covering almost every aspect of philosophy. His works are written as dialogues, where Socrates or other characters discuss deep philosophical questions. Some of his most famous works include The Republic, Plato's vision of an ideal society, where philosopher kings rule and justice prevails. The allegory of the cave, a powerful metaphor about knowledge, ignorance, and enlightenment. The symposium, a discussion on love, desire, and the nature of relationships. Phaedo, a dialogue on the immortality of the soul and Socrates' final moments. Through these works, Plato explored themes of justice, reality, love, and knowledge, setting the foundation for centuries of philosophical inquiry. Plato's later years and death. Plato spent his later years teaching and writing at the academy. He continued refining his ideas, particularly in works like Laws, where he proposed a more practical political system than the utopian republic. He died around 347 BCE, leaving behind a legacy that would shape the course of philosophy, science, and politics. Plato's legacy. Plato's impact on philosophy is immeasurable. His theory of forms introduced the idea that reality is more than what we perceive. His work in ethics and politics laid the groundwork for debates on justice, democracy, and governance. His influence extended beyond philosophy into mathematics, logic, and even theology, shaping thinkers from Augustine to modern political theorists. Perhaps Plato's greatest contribution was his method of inquiry, which encouraged people to think deeply, question assumptions, and seek higher knowledge. His academy inspired future educational institutions, and his dialogues remain essential reading for anyone interested in philosophy. This was just the beginning of Plato's philosophical journey. In the next video, we will explore one of his most famous and complex ideas, the theory of forms, and how it shaped our understanding of reality. Stay tuned.